In this tutorial, we'll take a look at how to delete blank rows in Excel using VBA. The example we have here has a sample database and a number of rows which have no data in them at all. What we would like to do is delete those rows that have no data in them. So that would be row 6, row 7, row 10, row 11, 13, and 14. In order to do this, we need to open up our Visual Basic editor, and we need to write some Visual Basic that would let us delete those blank rows. We'll start out with a subroutine, and we'll call it delete rows, and we always need an open and close parenthesis. And the first thing that we need to do is tell Excel what our last row is in our sample data sheet. So we're going to have a variable called last row, and we're going to make that equal to the active sheet, which is our current sheet, dot cells, and we're going to get the rows, and we're going to look for the count of those rows in column 1. So that's rows, comma 1, the count of the rows in the first column. And then we're going to do is close parenthesis, and we're going to go up one row to give us the row that is exactly above the last row that was found that contained no data. So in this case, it will go to row 18 and then go up 1 to row 17. And we can take a look at that when we actually run our code by putting in a message box, and we'll call that last row. So we'll get to see that number 17 appear in our message box if it's done properly. Now we need to have a for next loop, and we're going to say for I equal last row. In this case, it should be our number 17 to 2. If you notice, it's going to go from 17 to 2 because row 1 has a heading and we don't want to include that. And we're going to say step by -1. -1 means go in the opposite direction, going from bottom to top. And next we're going to say if the active sheet cells I, in this case, I is equal to 17, column 1. So we can test any column, but it's easiest just to test the first column, because if that's blank, then we would like the entire row to be deleted. So we're going to say if that is equal to a blank, and again, no space between these two. If you put a space in, that is not going to work. You need to put in an actual quote with no space, so this way it looks for nothing. Then what we're going to do is active sheet dot rows of I, whatever row number has no value at all, has nothing in that row, we're going to simply type in entire row dot delete. That's going to delete that row if there is nothing in it. And just to show us so we can see the actual result, we'll put in a message box for this particular I, which will show us the row number that is getting deleted. We finish this for next loop. We'll say end if next I. So every time that we have this for loop go through, we're then going to hit the next I. So going up all the way till we get to the value of 2. And at that point, we're going to end the subroutine. So we're starting out with 17, going up to 16, going up to 15, testing every single row to see if it's a blank in column A, row 1? If it is, delete that row. Continue going up, continuing going up, testing every single row for a blank until we get to row number 2. It then gets out of the for next loop and ends the subroutine. So let's try to see how this works, to see if our code is correct and the message box works as anticipated. So we're going to run this. The first thing it says is 17. 17, if you recall, was our last row. Next thing is 14. Hit a blank row. It suddenly deleted it. And now we're going to click OK. There it is. 13 had a blank row. Deleted it. 11. 10. 7. 6. And we have finished our code. The rows that were blank are now deleted. The Excel spreadsheet is now correct. And the reason you often need to delete blank rows is simply because if you do any statistics or pivot tables or anything else that is important to calculate, you certainly do not want any blank rows. So this works dynamically. It will not matter whether you have a large data set or a simple data set or even add data to this table in order to run again to delete the blank rows. It will work successfully. So there you have it, deleting blank rows in Microsoft Excel using VBA, and then you can simply get rid of your message box because you don't need that to appear when you actually run this. And most of all, when you save your macro, when you actually save it in Microsoft Excel, make sure that you do save it always with the extension of XLSM. And there you have it, Microsoft Excel deleting blank rows using VBA. Thank you.